Hello, hello, and welcome back to Coffee and Headlines, our morning get together live here on Facebook, where we examine headlines and news from our city, our state, and our country, where we take a look at your comments, your ideas, your suggestions, your bucket lists to find out what you're interested in. And we put everything together so that we can connect the dots and connect with one another, connect with our destination, and have a lovely life here in Puerto Vallarta as a community of English-speaking locals. My name is Paco, but you already know that. And if you don't, because you're new, hey, we'd love to know that you are new. And the way we can give you a nice welcome is if you write the word new in your comment, and we'll be happy to give you a nice little welcome aboard. And of course, as usual, if you have any important issues that you wish to get a reaction on or an answer, things that are really important to you, please add a capital letter Q so that we can address it during the chit chat section at the end of the broadcast. Today is Thursday, May 19, and as usual, we have all kinds of interesting questions and headlines, starting with a poll that is already out there. Have you visited Talpa de Allende yet? And I see that the vast majority of you haven't, so later on we'll be wondering if Talpa de Allende is a place that we should explore to get you better connected with that lovely town here in the state of Jalisco. We'll tell you why during the news section, but first, let's see, what else do we have? Well, we have more information about the blackout that we suffered yesterday. We have information about a beach in town that got closed because of red tide. We have face mask updates. We have updates on the work being conducted in Las Juntas, and a couple of interesting tidbits that you might enjoy learning more about. So I think it is a good time to get started. So let's hit the button. Boom. Okay, so we start with a reminder of something we announced a few days ago. A few days ago, we announced that the municipal government was to start their Programa de Ordenamiento Vial, or road ordering program, through which they are reclaiming public parking spots in Emiliano Zapata en el Centro that were questionably made private and painted with a yellow strip. We now learn that this work has actually begun. So if you went out with your own paint bucket to privatize a parking spot for yourself by painting it yellow, or if you obtained your yellow parking spot through a bribe, you may be out of luck in the next few days. By the way, the word used in Spanish to describe the strip that gets painted yellow is machuelo, which I believe translates to curb in English, although I am not entirely sure. Let's see. Yesterday's early morning power outage was apparently more widespread than we thought, as as it took place in the entire west coast of Mexico. And the Federal Electricity Commission has not yet offered any kind of explanations. We will be waiting for those. But as long as we're talking about power outages, I would like to offer a helpful reminder to any newbies out there. And by newbies, I mean folks that are experiencing or enjoying your first summer in Puerto Vallarta. Please remember to look after your appliances. Please know that for better or worse, when electricity goes out, and it comes back in, particularly during the storm season. Sometimes it comes back in a jolt, as in the electricity makes a big entrance, and in the process of saying, I'm back, all of a sudden you find that your computer or your microwave oven or your television set have been fried. So what do you need? You need to buy surge protectors. You can find those at Costco. You can find those probably at Sam's as well. So please be mindful of this if you are enjoying your first summer in Puerto Vallarta. We hear all kinds of stories all the time from folks that have lost their computers and other valuable equipment because their appliances were not properly protected. And of course, with the power outage yesterday came pumps that stopped working and moving water from one place to another. And Ceapal announced water shortages yesterday in Pitillal, and these are expected to continue today. The article that I'm showing you features a complete list of colonias that are affected. Then again, if the water shortage began yesterday, you probably already know by now if you are living in an affected area. But Ceapal claims that water service will be restored in affected areas by 11 a.m. this morning. Red tide continues to be a problem throughout Banderas Bay, and now we learned that authorities closed Camarones Beach, where aside from the red tide, dead fish were found all over the place, and that is absolutely not pretty. So if you were thinking of going swimming at Camarones Beach, you may want to think again. Wearing face masks in Jalisco is nowadays mandatory only in hospitals and public transportation vehicles, whether they are city buses or taxis of one kind or another. But given a recent spike in COVID cases in some private schools that coincide with the return to classes after Semana Santa, mandatory face mask use could actually return to schools. There is presently no set date for the next state health board meeting, but circumstances such as these could result in a meeting at any time in the near future. Of course, as always, we will keep you posted. The remodeling and infrastructure works conducted by the city along Highway 200 near Las Juntas continue as we get closer to the rain season, and as predicted, they are creating traffic chaos. But we already knew they would. Mayor Michel has published an update video that I'm going to show you now that gives us a glimpse as to the magnitude of the work being conducted so we can better appreciate its importance, particularly for folks living in Las Juntas, where summer rains frequently result in flooded homes. So if you have to travel along the highway on a regular basis and you are heading north, kindly be mindful of this, plan accordingly, allow for enough time to get from one place to another, and of course, patience does not hurt at all. Let us take a look at our weather forecast and we continue with a few more headlines. Where is it? Here it is. Lucasfilm just announced that every future Star Wars series will take place entirely on Tatooine. Okay, whatever. I don't know that I care much about that. What I care about is our temperature, which is 25 degrees right now, feels like 26. Humidity is low today at 41%, and our temperature in Fahrenheit degrees at present time is 77. Our forecast for today says partly cloudy through the day with a high temperature of 30 and a low temperature of 20. Tomorrow, Friday, it will be a clear day with a high of 30, a low of 20. And then Saturday, another clear day with a high of 31 and a low of 20. Now, when tropical storm season began, we announced that 17 storms were predicted for the season, while another news source announced 18. But now they are talking of a possible 19 tropical storms that could affect our city, according to Gerardo Alonso Castillon, who oversees the Civil Protection and Firefighter Department here in Puerto Vallarta. According to him, 5 of those storms could evolve into Category 1 and 2 hurricanes, and another 4 could evolve into Category 3 and 4. It is worth recalling that the higher the number from 1 to 5, the stronger the hurricane, and not the other way around. Meanwhile, in the Gulf of Mexico, Alex, the first cyclone to form in the Caribbean, is expected to reach the Mexican coast this weekend. And they are predicting approximately 40 storms over there. So we should consider us West Coasters luckier than them, I suppose. Mayor Michel also posted on his Facebook page about the constant work being done in the city by the public lighting crew, and reminds us that there is a telephone number we can all call to report any public lights that need to be fixed or replaced or that are otherwise malfunctioning. So this is a number that is worth keeping handy. The number is listed on the screen. And as always, I will leave this information with you on the show notes. And now let me very quickly take a look at the poll. Interesting. Most of you have not visited Talpa de Allende yet. That's a good segue because I can tell you that if you love coffee, and you should because you're watching Coffee and Headlines, if you love regional coffee, it might be a good weekend to head over to Talpa de Allende as they are having a coffee and artisanal fair at the town's main plaza from tomorrow, Friday, to Sunday. You can enjoy the coffee that is, I was going to say built. What is the word then? Grown. Thank you. Thank you. Coffee that is grown in the region of Talpa, and enjoy some of the local handicrafts and some of the local food. There's going to be live music, dancing, contests, and coffee tastings, of course. So now that I realize that most of you have not actually visited Talpa de Allende just yet, I realized that I should have asked, would you like to learn more about Talpa and why you may want to visit Talpa de Allende? Talpa de Allende, of course, is within reach by way of the mountain highway to Guadalajara. This is probably a good time. It's probably a good time to go and visit this town. It joins Mascota and San Sebastián del Oeste among the 3 closest towns of any consequence that one would want to visit in if you're living here in Puerto Vallarta. And of course, if you are interested in religious tourism, know that Talpa de Allende is the second most important tourism destination in all of Mexico, next to the Basilica, the Basilica de Guadalupe in Mexico City. And of course, Talpa de Allende is easy to reach either by your own vehicle or there is a bus. It's not a first-class bus, but it is, I suppose, a happy bus that takes you to Talpa, and the bus terminal is right here in Colonia Versalles. So that leads to my next question. Would you like to learn more about Talpa de Allende? If so, please write the word Talpa, T-A-L-P-A, in your comment, and we'll gauge interest in this cute little town. I haven't been in a while, but I would be happy to hop on the pretty bus just to go and do some coverage there and get some candy. There's great guava paste and other chingaderas that are made in Talpa that are absolutely scrumptious, and there's some good food to be enjoyed. Moving right along, I want to look at my notes so that I know what I'm talking about. There we go. Oh, look at all the Talpas. Good heavens. Okay, we're going to Talpa, clearly. Not this weekend, but definitely before it starts to rain. But what's next is, according to a recent report, 3 Mexican journalists are among the 10 journalists around the world with most verified Twitter followers. That would be Carlos Moret de Mola. Actually, I'm going to read them in the order in which they appear in the photograph. This is Joaquin Lopez Doriga. This is Carlos Loret de Mola. And this is Carmen Aristegui. And they share this accomplishment along with the likes of Rachel Maddow and Anderson Cooper, among others. Is this a surprise then that Mexican President Andres Manuel Lopez Obrador is always on the fence with these 3 journalists, particularly with Loret de Mola? It is definitely not a surprise, not at all. Before we dive into your beautiful comments and all those talpas, my goodness, we are going to remind you that the cat is out of the bag. You have the opportunity to learn how to harness the power of your inner pissy-ass queen mode this coming Sunday through a special live broadcast for Coffee and Headline supporters and members like you. It'll be Sunday at 3 p.m. So if you're feeling pissy, or if you're feeling concerned about your pissyhood or your pissiness or otherwise your overall demeanor, this might be a good time to share some anecdotes on when we got ugly despite our best efforts to not do so. We will take a look at some of the characters and people that have informed my pissy-ass queen mode through time. And we will, of course, welcome audience participation. In fact, audience participation is expected. If you don't put out your sorrow stories, I will not put out my own. Plain and simple. How do you learn more about this? Well, if you are a Coffee and Headline supporter or member, you should have received an email message with a post. If not, I am going to leave a post with all the information that is going to look like this if you are not a supporter. But of course, you know that it is very easy to become a supporter of Coffee and Headlines, whether you wish to do a one-time support by buying coffees or whether you wish to become a member. In this live broadcast, which will be similar to the ones that we have when we have members-only meetings, you will have 2 choices of participation. One will be just to watch and comment, as you usually do here. But if you also want to come online with me as an interviewee and give us an opportunity to learn more about you, then there will be another link available. So if you can also participate as a person that suffers from pissy ass queen mode syndrome, I suppose. So again, this is a subtle invitation for you to become members or to support Coffee and Headlines in one way or another. Now, let me quickly take a look at your comments just to see who is thinking about what. Starting with good mornings. Good mornings from Ryan, who's in Chevy Chase, if I recall. Bronica are still in Diaz Ordaz, still enjoying their time in town. And if I know them well, they're probably going through the entire restaurant week choice of restaurants this week. Let's see. Albert is watching from Woodland Hills. Lovely. And we have somebody in rainy Ottawa. I hope we have rain sometime soon. Let's see what else we have. Many, many greetings. Oh no, I knew this was coming, but I don't know exactly when. Apparently, El Rio Barbecue has now closed down. I heard through the grapevine that they may be reopening elsewhere, but this is still a rumor. You did not hear it from me. It is fake news until we see it published, but that's what I heard. Let's see. Oh no, Maggie tells us that the person that she lives with has tested positive on Tuesday. I hope you continue to be negative, Maggie. Please take good care of yourself. I'm jealous. Deborah is not coming to Puerto Vallarta, but she's spending 4 months in San Miguel de Allende. Good for you. I haven't been in San Miguel for a while, and it's a beautiful town to visit, and I would certainly love to go back to San Miguel de Allende sometime soon now that the pandemic is more forgiving. Let's see. Uh-oh. Veronica is counting days to leave, so eat as much as you can. Let's see what else. Ricky says, I learned that machuelo was a germ or part of a plant seed. Here I hear bordillo for curb. Interesting. Yes, machuelo seems to be a Mexican ism, as I have not seen that advertised anywhere, not advertised, but used anywhere else in Latin America, or at least not in the quick search that I did this morning. By the way, please know that today was a good morning for me because in preparing the show notes, I had to look up a bunch of words that I didn't know in English, and I consider myself thankful every time you give me the opportunity to learn new words or add new words to my vocabulary. Amy asks, can you eat fish during red tide? Thanks. You know, Amy, I don't have an answer to your question, but now that you bring it up, eating fish that was fished locally, ooh, no, that doesn't sound like a good idea. And I hope somebody that's more knowledgeable about this can provide a better answer. But just as I'm not spending a lot of time on the beach right now, at least locally, um, I don't know that I would feel very keen on eating local fish right now. Although Sage is quick to say no shellfish during red tide, I believe fish are okay. Again, I would, I don't know. But I hope you get clarity there, or maybe fish can wait. Let's see what else. Da 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 da. And I find myself humming to the rhythm of a Shostakovich symphony. I didn't mean to do that. Patty asks, where is it? Sorry, Paco, nothing to be sorry about, Patty. In fact, let me whip out my map while we're having a conversation so that I can show you where Talpa de Allende is in relationship to Puerto Vallarta. It is, no, I don't want Apple's maps, sorry. Maps.google.com. And let's search Talpa de Allende. And we have, here we go. So, just to give you a sense of to what we're looking at. Okay, so there is Puerto Vallarta, and here goes the highway. There's Ixtapa, and then you get to San Sebastian, and then there is Mascota. And then right off Mascota, like 20 minutes after Mascota, there's a detour to Talpa de Allende. It's about an hour and a half from here. The highway continues to Guadalajara, but that is where it is located. And I see a bunch of Talpa, 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 Talpa. Okay, we'll take the happy bus to Talpa. I'm going to research. Yes, guava paste and cheese. Absolutely. My favorite Mexican dessert. And it's only two ingredients. It is essential. And the best guava paste, of course, we can find it in Talpa. I'm going to research the bus schedule, the happy bus. And if there's a way to get to Talpa early in the day and come back on the same day, I will take the happy bus and I will do some photography while I'm there. Maybe I'll find some friends that want to tag along. More Talpa, 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 Talpa. Robert comments, Talpa is definitely a superb destination. I love it. Many, many, many Talpas. Claude gets a kick out of pissy ass queen mode. Oh my God, Papi, you know me. You know that it sneaks out. It sneaks out sometimes. Sage says, my pissy ass queen mode is like one of them Snickers commercials. Unfortunately, I don't know the Snickers commercials, but now you've got me intrigued. If there is a YouTube link that you can share with us, then we will love to learn more about that. Um, ma, 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 ma. Yes, Marie, I hear you. There's a lot of hearsay, and I know that, I mean, we stay away from hearsay. Hopefully, hopefully it will continue one way or another. I wish Kurt and Hollis the best of luck with whatever new endeavors they have. I don't know specifics as to why they chose to close. Um, oh, Greta wants to go to Talpa. I love it. I love it. Well, maybe Greta, well, maybe we can have a day trip. We let's talk. I love it. Let's see what else. That's a huge long day trip to Talpa, 2.5 hours to Mascota, another hour or so to Talpa. Dave, I think we have we have different data. I don't. I've done this before. I've had a day trip in Talpa and have come back on the same day. And even though it's not a walk around the block, it is definitely doable. I could choose to stay in Talpa overnight. There are a couple of very basic hotels that one can enjoy, and maybe that's the way to go about it. Anyhow, oh, Logan says, and I remember this trip, first time ever to Talpa was with you. So vamonos, let's go back. I say, let's go to Talpa. Let's see what else we have. I will share with you the Betty White one. Okay, Betty White one. Okay, I'd love to see it. I would love to find out what that is all about. Brian suggests check out the Liberty Mutual crochet commercials on YouTube. Oh, I've been having such a good time crocheting these days. It's not even funny. Let's see what else. Suzanne says you love the Snickers commercial. Now I'm definitely curious about this. Anyhow, this is what we have for today. I hope you enjoyed today's broadcast. I'm excited to see that many of you have not gone to Talpa, at least for the day. And I think it's totally doable. It's a long day, but I think it's totally doable. If the bus arrives and leaves at the proper time, or if you have your own vehicle and you want to just go early and come back a little bit on the late afternoon. Heather brings up that Talpa is definitely not a place to go unless you are interested in the religious aspect during the peregrinaciones, because it gets super crowded, but that's okay. That won't happen until December. So I think I think my friends are planning something, and I am getting very happy about that. I'm going to give you all a phone call, but now I want to thank you again for keeping me company, for giving me a place to hang out in the morning, for giving me a source of great inspiration, great new friendships, and for giving me an income. Yes, you guys, in case you've forgotten, you make everything possible through your kind contributions, through your memberships. It doesn't take a lot of money to make this whole thing move about. And if you want to enjoy this weekend's broadcast on how to harness the power of your pissy ass queen mode, learn the story behind the acronym, and of course, if you want to enjoy my special broadcast on my recent trip to Guadalajara, on which I am doing finishing touches, all you have to do is visit this link, which is always available to you in the show notes, so that you can find out how you can help us keep Coffee and Headlines moving forward. So that's it for today. Have a wonderful, schwitzy, sweaty, fun, connected day, and hopefully I'll see you again tomorrow. Have a good one.